Alright guys, at first glance, this is what the month looks like, right? I mean, very consistent overall, man. Very consistent indeed. May 2022. Not a bad month, man. We had 3 red days, which I was very proud of, right? 3 red days in an entire month. It's very good. Very good stuff. All in all, it was a solid month, but there was things we could have done better, right? We had some good green days. Here we had a $900 day, 750, 387 on the last day, right? Very impressive here because we were down 400, right, before coming green. 555, those were the highlights of the month. Now, the one thing about this month, as we get more into the metrics, you guys will see, uh, we haven't done a great job retaining our earnings. And so you'll notice a lot of smaller green days, 38, 70, 61, 71, 58. So 81, 37. We had a lot of days where we gave back profits, returned shares, and we didn't do a good job in terms of reducing size throughout the day. So, as we jump into the detailed section, overall we finished up over 4K, right? So despite all the obstacles that we faced and all the mistakes we've made, we still finished up over 4K, which is pretty solid. This here is above my average from last year, which I do like. And as you guys will see here, we're pushing size, we're pushing share size, we're taking more trades, we're looking forward to being a little bit more aggressive, and we're seeing opportunities. It's just a matter of toning it down once we do lock it in, right? Toning it down and not giving it back. So 106,000 shares traded. And for those of you who saw that video I posted on Friday, we must size up after becoming consistent. You guys will see why I'm so proud of this number right here, because we go back to those hotter markets, Q4 of last year. I mean, the entire 2020, 2021, where things are going crazy. I was very conservative, only trading 20,000 shares a day, maybe 30,000 shares a day. Now we're 4 times, 3 times that amount, and looking to even, push it higher. So I'm happy with this right here. I want to keep working on this to get better. And all in all, I think it shows in a slow market like we're in right now. I'm still seeing similar gains of what I had in a hot market. So it's definitely a good sign for me. I'm looking to, push myself and keep working here, man. So as we come on down through the list, average winning trades $36.95, average losing trades $30. And I believe with the shorter hold time, we're seeing more of a 1-to-1, right? Let's see, 51.9% accuracy. The accuracy is definitely going up a little bit more with the shorter hold time. Scratch trades, 12 scratch trades, max consecutive wins, 8 max consecutive losses, 8. We definitely want to see a 2-to-1 if we can in these areas here. And in terms of our average losing trades, this number here comes up very quickly when we have big losses, man. So we want to try our best to avoid those big losses, being that we're not seeing stocks really opening up as much, right? Largest gain 350, largest loss 201, average trade gain slash loss 485, trade P&L standard deviation at 51.71, and profit factor at 1.34. Our hold times are winning trade and losing trade a little higher because of the trades that we're taking off the lows where we're holding for a few minutes at a time, right? So keep that in mind. Wednesdays, I don't know what's going on with Wednesdays, man. We'll look at my overall metrics at this point after we're done with the month. It's so strange. What is it about Wednesday that I just can't seem to get it going? It's so strange that it's such a drop off from the other days. I know each day is its own individual thing. Each day is unique, and each day comes with its own set of opportunities, different opportunities. But man, to have such a drop off on Wednesdays, it's unbelievable. From 1,200 on our best day down to 255. Man, come on. No pre-market trades here this month, and most of our trades coming between 9:30 and of course 11:30. We didn't really trade that much after 11:30, although we were here a lot of those days. We didn't see much power hour, as I was kind of using small size and having some scratch trades. I believe we had a day where we were up 125, and then another day where we gave back some profits on some slippage, and that might have happened twice, I believe, for like $50, $50 again, something like that. But all in all, decent month, man, decent month. Price and volume, around $5 and $10 is where we saw the most opportunities. Under two, nothing crazy. Between 2 and 5, I'm surprised I actually didn't do a little bit better in this range. I believe we had a few stocks, and between 10 and 20, coming in it seems like second place. Yes. So moving on to instruments, man. Instruments. You guys will see this list of stocks here, right, on the red side. Some of you guys will be green on these stocks. HDSN, it wasn't so bad. I managed to do a poor job. BKSY should have been very green on this one had I been watching those lows more closely on that first day. It went crazy. Right? Could have been watching the lows, attacking the lows, getting in, and selling higher instead of trying to scalp, seeing some losses, and then backing off. We had Redbox, VERU, BWV, HUSA, and CBIO, a few stocks there, which we were able to do well on. Market behavior, you guys know I don't pay too much attention to this because whether the market is hot, slow, up, down, we just try our best. Yes, sometimes the sentiment does seep over. Right now, things are slow in the overall market, and as a result, small caps are on the slower side. But it doesn't mean that we're going to be red. We can still see opportunities, as long as we've proven consistency and we're willing to adjust and make changes. So performance by SPY, yeah, I'm not even going to look at that. Win-loss expectation. This is where things get a little crazy for me, right? I talk so much about this particular metric here because throughout all of our winning trades, losing trades, scratch trades, back and forth battles where I'm green, then I'm red, then I'm red, then I'm green, and then I'm higher in the green, maybe giving back off the top at the end of the day. Right here, we're just about at 16,000, and we lost about 11,900. Even this number itself is very good. If my accuracy is, let's say, 70%, 75%, and I'm doing 16,000, more than likely on the red side would probably be at like 3K. Most of my green months probably will be around 13,000, 12,000, 10,000, 14,000. In that ballpark, because the accuracy will be so high to the point where we don't lose as much, right? We'll probably see, I would say above 10. I think that would be a safe bet to make. Maybe we lose 4, and from 15, 16, we're up 11, 12. Maybe we can push 12, 12.5, 13, maybe 14. Better months where I can push 20, we can be at 15. I think that's kind of what it would look like had the accuracy been, like guys like Ross, where we see accuracies of like 65, 70, 75%. There's some people out there even 80%, but it comes down to style and approach. So this is part of the strategy, but we got to continue working to be a little bit better, right? So win-loss versus days, man. Win-loss versus days, man. Whoa, 18 green days to 3 losing days. This is very good, and this metric here looks much better, right? When we look at 4,500 in the green versus 500 in the red, this looks much better. 254 for our green days, 181 on our red days, and I like that I'm trading less volume when things are slow. And this is one of the best ratios I've had in terms of volume profile on our green days, looking to stay aggressive. And when things are slow, we're easing it down, right? So as long as we continue to reduce size and protect the gains and continue adding, if something gets really good A quality again, we size back up. Because the way how the day is, it's like it starts off very good. When I buy the dips, if the dips aren't holding, I go back to red or flat on the day. Starting green most of the times, back to flat. Once the dips hold, right, when we have follow through, I'm starting green on the scalps, buying the dip, going higher into the green, and from there sometimes is where we'll see some chop. I give back some profits with the big size. So that's why I want to continue to size down. Once the stocks prove real strength and break key levels, size right back up to be aggressive again, where we're at our strongest point. And I think that'll give me the best odds of success with bigger size instead of just big size through and through like I was doing earlier in the month, which led to me giving back a lot of profits. All right, so these are the numbers there. They're not too bad. not too bad at all, man. We can compare this month to last month, right? Last year of this month, right, is what I'm trying to say. So let's see. Start date May 1, 2022. End date May 31, 2022. And let's look at 2021. I probably should have did it with 2021 on this side, but we'll be all right. So May 1st, 2021, and May 31st, 2021. Let's generate that report. So overall this month, look at that, man. A much better improvement, right? Great improvement, really, right? Especially when we look at volume, man. I mean, guys, what was I doing in a hot? This is still considered a hot market because, and I kind of want to see, what the let's go ahead here and see what the in terms of green days, let's just get a better look, a better gauge of last year in terms of green days. Right, reports. So we had 5 red days, but I think a lot of this has to do with me not being a, because look at this. There's some green days sprinkled here and there that are good days. 290, 316, 337. Guys, this is why we must size up when we're consistent. We must size up because if I'm, on a day like this where, let's see, 600 share blocks, I do start red before going green. I traded 10,000 shares on the day. Once again, right now I'm trading 100,000 shares. So, let's assume we take the same exact trades. There's not much slippage or anything like that. And we add an extra 0 at the end of this. And we go to 100,000 shares, right? 100,000 shares. This number will have another 0 behind it. And it'll become 333 versus 33. And this is the reason why I made that video. And when we do have these type of days, this, with that same logic, $1,000 day, can we even if it doesn't apply exactly, but days like this probably will go up times 3, times 4, times 2 at the very minimum, I would say, and so that's the difference, right here we probably would have been up 1,800, 1,500, 1,200 a day like this. And the red days will be bigger, right? The red days, the same logic will apply to the red days. But for the most part, you guys even see it now. Our red days aren't that big because we're still managing risk to the best of our abilities. But the red days will be bigger without a doubt, But the green days will also be that much bigger. And that's why, for me, I think, I don't understand. I look back at it, it's like, I don't know why I took so long to size up. Like, it is, I don't know. It is weird. It's weird. I can't say why. Like right now, I cannot say why. We look back at May of last year. But anyhow, it's coming back to this month to finish off the review. Right, May of 2022. Back to May of 2022. There's a couple other things that we can look at. Let's see. Days and time we checked out. Oh yeah, and I do want to make that comparison in terms of days and time to the overall the overall trading metrics, right? Which we can actually do right now really quickly. So days and time, look at this, guys. Wednesday, look at the drop off here, right? Our best day Tuesday at 21 and Wednesday's at 7. Less than 3 times. Monday at 11 and Thursday and Friday, I would say, are in decent shape. But what is up with Wednesday and Monday? And Wednesday especially, man. I don't know. I do believe it'll correct itself. And maybe when I do get that $5,000-$10,000 green day, it'll probably be on a Wednesday, on a Monday as well, But it's strange as to why there's such a drop off. Most people that I know, I think it's more like even and consistent. So it's definitely something there. Right, so right now we're pushing on up, trying to get up there to 100K. We're working our way slow and steady. And right now, as you guys will see, we're pushing volume 42,000 shares per day is our average volume. And over by the end of this year, can we get this number up there to 55, 60,000, going into next year 70,000, 80,000, and so forth, because we're going to continue to be aggressive with share size. Right, that's not going to change. When we come forward to the beginning of the year, right, we had such a slow start, man, and here we are now making the adjustments. Right, once again, look at Tuesday. So far this year, Monday and Tuesday have been the better days. Wednesday still lagging behind in every category, no matter what year it is. But we're making our way on up. Volume has increased tremendously to 52,000. Once again, if we go back here to January, February, it was a very, very slow start. And so, to see the adjustments that we put in place working out well, that's the key thing. So we're going to keep pushing. We're going to double down on it. And, when the time comes around for us to hold slightly longer in trades because they're going crazy, we'll do that, right? But for now, quick gains in and out, right? This was January and February of this year. I was essentially a struggling trader all over again. After a year of green, my first red month, in January. February, I was green $7. Barely green. 7,000 shares of volume. So guys, no matter even if you've been trading for a year, 5, 10, 15, 20, we're no stranger to adversity, man. And it is tough. It is tough going from October, November, December, where we're doing about $220 per day. And, we come into January, February, and we go to zero. We go to being red. It is tough, man. It's happened to me before, and we'll see, guys. Progress is not something that you'll see immediately every time. Sometimes it takes years, right? And I want to show this example, right? Because the last time this happened to me was in 2020, right? Let's go back to 2020. I started in May of 2020, and I want to take you guys back down to memory lane, right? Let's go to August, right, of 2020. Look at how I started my live day trading career, right? Pay attention to my share size as well. I was trading 60,000 shares per day. I was much more aggressive. My stats were imported through aggregate. So this is why the numbers are a little bit bigger here. And as well for the whole time, it wasn't per execution. It was more so the aggregate sum per each stock that I traded. But pay attention to the volume profile. I started off being very aggressive. I came in with the right mindset, the right mentality, the right approach, and I was doing very well. $200 per day. I will remember to say the market was definitely on the hotter side. Before August, because it slowed down for me in August a lot. Before August, right? $263 per day, right? Very impressive. This is very impressive, and this is over a few months. Very, very impressive numbers. I mean, even looking back at it now, it's very impressive. It's why I know with this big size, man, once we continue to do what is right, once we continue to manage risk, when we get back to these type of markets, man, we all of us, not just me, all of us will see bigger gain. And we've around the community, some of the traders who are producing bigger numbers than I am, I talk to some of these people, and they're down from months of like 300,000 to now months of like 40,000. They're down from months of $500,000 to months of $80,000. Now that's still a lot of money, of course. But guys, when you get to the level of being profitable, and you get accustomed, right? You get accustomed. Sometimes the market can even spoil us a little bit, right? Until we kind of come back down, and we got to always be grateful. Right? We got to always be grateful. But if you're doing 1,000 a day every day in a hot market, and now your numbers are more so around, let's say 300, 200 a day, you feel great to be green, because we all remember what it's like to be red, and to be red every day and struggling. But that mental that mental adjustment has to come because it's not the same. And for me, I started off very strong, and look at what's going to happen here to these numbers. I'm going to come into my first roadblock, and this roadblock, this is part of why I had to, well, not had to, but part of why I sized down. And I mean, it took me so long to size back. It took me like a year, guys, right? And all of this is to kind of wrap around why January and February, in my eyes, were successful months versus what happened to me at the beginning of my career. Because you got to remember, at this point, I'm like 1.5 years in, um, almost close to 2 years at this point. I run into my first roadblock in October, and look at what happened to these beautiful stats at the end of October, right? Look at the drop off. Look at the drop off, guys. From 263 down to 116. My accuracy drops from 52 to 46. You can see that I ran into some trouble, right? And it took me a long time to really understand what October was, man. And the number one thing that I took from it is that when there is a change in the market, I have to slow down, because when you slow down, you can give yourself time to figure out what's going on. If you keep moving fast, you're going to keep crashing over and over, and it's going to weigh down on your P&L. It's going to weigh. Man, at this point in time, I felt red, guys. Like I say it now, stay positive, stay green. Stay green mentally, stay strong mentally. I'm coming into the market back here showing up knowing that I'm going to be red the next day, and that's not how it's supposed to be. That's not how you're supposed to think. I was defeated in this month, man, until I finally came to grasp. And this is part of why Wednesday, well, I guess only 1,500 is not that bad, but this is part of why you can't force things, man. You can't force it. You got to slow down, assess what's going on, see what was working in your previous green days, previous green months, and what's not working right now, and make the adjustments. This month wasn't, it's not that this month was cold or anything, it's that I wasn't willing to take trades at the lows. I was buying very high, and what would happen, let's say breakout is at 560, I'm long at 558. We break out by 1 cent, it flushes down 15 cents, and then rips through the highs. I get stopped out in the flush, then it rips up 20 cents, and the process repeats over and over. So why not size down, maybe take that flush of 15 cents lower, ride the wave up, and plus the 20-cent breakout before that process happens again, and make the change real time intraday, right, on the spot, once we notice it, right? Instead, I kept being headstrong, and so this taught me to, hey, don't force it, and don't go red, right? Don't force it. Assess what's going on, strategize, come again with some better improvement. And so in January, February of this year, that's what I did. And instead of being down 3K, I was down, 120, and then plus, green $7 before we finally figured it out. So now the third time around, and this is where you can get into that area where you don't see any red months at all, right? Because on the third time, let's say this happens to me next year or at the end of this year. Let's say next year, June, right? Next year, June, out of nowhere, everything stops working again, right? At that point is where I can assess, right? And I think it'll be a much faster transition. Instead of a 2-month delay, it might be a 1-week delay, because we're also right now adding different things into our arsenal, right? We're becoming better at the lows. We're becoming better at the dips. We're becoming better at taking more trades where we see more opportunities. And all of that is going to help out when the time comes again where we need to make adjustments. And it'll be more verse. It'll be a faster transition, and we'll be right back to consistency all over again. So sometimes the progress takes years, months, right? It might not be overnight for each and everything, but we got to actively implement change. 23%, man. I just was defeated mentally here. And there were still some good things, when we look back. I still had a positive profit loss ratio, although it's very close to 1 to 1. My volume could have been much lower, of course. Average daily gains could have been much lower. You can see I had my largest loss this month, down 765 in one trade when I'm using small size. Just unbelievable, man. Anyhows, moving on. I think it's good to always come back to that month to remind us why we have to, manage risk. We have to do things the right way, man. We can't force it. We cannot force it. But right now, we're on our way to 100K, and that's the goal. So far throughout my career, we have 328 green days, 175 losing days, and we want to try and put more distance in between these two numbers here. We want to see more, like months like this month are great months. 18 green days to add, and just 3 red days to add on this side. More of that is what we need. More of that is what we need, right? So for anyone who might be interested here, since going live in May 1st, these are the numbers. We've made over $100,000. We've lost $33,000. We've been green 65% of the days. And I think it's a total of 500 days. So it's about 2 years right here. And, it's been a good journey, man. Our green days, and despite all those smaller green days that we've had, all the green days where we gave back profits, it's so inspiring because despite all of that, we're still averaging 323 on our green days, So there's room to have bigger green days. We've had months where we had $500 with small size. What will happen in hotter markets with bigger size when we continue to be more efficient, So this number, without a doubt, I feel is going to continue to climb. It's a matter of just continuing to manage risk to the best of our abilities, to where we keep those red days small, and this number here, I think inevitably will go up, but will go up at a slow rate, very slow rate in comparison to our green days, right? And that's what it's all about, man. Slow, consistent progress, right? Because we know trading is all about the long run, right? It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And so, when we look at the overall metrics, it doesn't look bad. So May, I would say, in a lot of ways, although it wasn't our biggest green month, it's one of our best months in terms of consistency, and this is the level of consistency that I want to keep up. You'll see January, February, lots of red days. March, even although we had a decent month, we still had a lot of red days. And March, man, we could have done so much better because coming into this area here, the market was hot. The market was hot, but I felt like I was too aggressive. I was holding a little too long, still needing to shake off some of that rust from January, February, from going back to December when I had that longer hold time. Right here, the goal was, hey, we're finally seeing consistency, right? We go back to February 22nd right here. We were finally seeing some consistency, and so it was like, all right, coming into the 16th, right? This is how my mind was working here. Hold on. Not June 16th, but March 16th. There we go. So this is a good stretch right here. This is a very good stretch, right? A very good stretch. And these 2 red days, if you guys see here, small red days compared to green days of 1400, 600, 1100. Slower days here, 97, 70, 240. After this day, I was ready to go. I'm like, okay, here we go, waiting to size up aggressively, coming into, what I was hoping for was a hotter period in time. And that's exactly what we got. The indication these days to size up for me was pre-market. Very good pre-market. And on these days, we had awesome stocks. I did a very poor job. They were a little tough to trade, but still, had I been scalping with my quick in and out scalps, I would have been green. We had PIK. And let's come forward here a little bit. We had PIK, right? It sucks to have been red. And this stock right here, I should have never bothered with it, man. EIGR, I don't know. Look at this, 347, minus 98, minus 109. I was looking to continue to use big share size, but wasn't seeing it, and was pushing it. Once we have losses like this, man, it's time to size down. I mean, well, the time is from this way here, 9:32. Right, we're red on PIK. Then we had a green trade. Okay, so we're slightly green on the day, and then we have a $500 loss. Why am I still pushing it all the way here? Very unnecessary. Very, very and I think this might have been a short trade too, if I'm not mistaken. So, it's like things we could have definitely done so much better on these days, man. And by the way, PIK ended up moving up in the afternoon on this day. It did a decent push in the morning, right here, and then the real move came at like 2 p.m. It went all the way to $6. I mean, it was impressive, man. And because I was so red on the day, I just couldn't come back. Max loss. So I didn't manage risk. That's what days like that is. Days like this is where I did a poor job managing risk. Came back the next day, PIK was in play, and I did not do a good job getting in and out. In and out. I was holding too long with big size and got blazed on a lot of the trades. When I go back and watch these videos, some trades I'm up 350, 400, not taking it off the table, looking for a bigger move. And it's like that was not the market. So a little bit of this was the adjusting, the adjustments, but still to when we size up, we have to remember size does not mean altering the strategy. Size is just size. You cannot get emotionally tied to the trade. None of that. Right now, it's in and out, whether it's size or no size, when we're looking at those scalps. So I had two big red days here, and this was a big drop off for me, man. And man, what would we say? Week four. This month was like a longer month here, more trading days. Week four was absolutely on fire. The amount of missed opportunities between these 7 days it doesn't even reflect, even despite seeing these big red days here, man. We had LLL, NSPR, a bunch of other stocks. I had a family emergency. I mean, it sucked so much, man. You know, Sometimes things just don't go according to plan. To have these two big red days, a family emergency, took 2 days off. This was a stressful time, man. And credit to myself for coming back and being able to even find some green here. After Wednesday, I was, trying, didn't see it. Thursday was a tough day for me, man. Thursday was a hard day for me, man, because all I wanted was a green day. We spoke about in videos before that sometimes when you're red, all you want to do is just get a small green day, build yourself back up, and then, you know, go from there. And so I approached the day. I didn't really see much follow through. It was a little choppy for me. And ALLG, once again, LLL, right? But ALLG, man. Oh, man, oh, man. This stock here, guys, look at this from 20 to 29. And the reason why I couldn't do well on it is because my mind was like in a cocoon. It's like I wasn't fearless. I had so much emotions going through me from everything that had happened. The big red days, the week before, the end of the week before, the family emergency. But it's like trading is my home away from home, and it's like I can't stay away from it too long, even though something bad might be happening in my personal life. And so I came back, and that Thursday was a tough day, man. I hate these days the most. Days where there's opportunities, but mentally I can't do anything about it. It's for me. This day is like worse than the red days, man. I know that might sound crazy, but the feeling of being helpless, man, is not a feeling that I like. These days, I traded poorly. I managed risks awfully. It was terrible, but I wasn't helpless. I was just trading, subpar. Days like this, I felt helpless, man. But, I just stuck to it. Came back, built confidence, and then Friday I had so much motivation. After looking back at everything, it's like, man, I feel good. And I came in very intense. Very intense Monday. We happened to have some good follow through on Monday and Tuesday, and then that's where we really. This is where I would say, for me, like the year had really started into February 22nd, and then almost like a rebirth from the 28th. Coming into April, which was a great month. Not that many red days. We had 6 red days, which is a little on the higher side, but improvements, much improvement over January, February, and even some of my months last year. And so, moving forward now, can we continue to see this level of consistency, right? Let's go from April, right? April onwards, just to look at the consistency in terms of green days. Can every single month for the rest of the year, assuming there's no great shift in momentum that requires me to adjust like crazy again, right? Because that was a big adjustment. October 2020 and then January, February of 2022. Big adjustments, right? Will I think I will. I think I can continue with this level of consistency. We've had 2 months of it. Is it luck? I don't think so. I think it's just good adjustments. So far here today, we have 2 green days into June, and we're going to continue pushing, man. We're going to push forward and continue to be relentless. We're never going to stop being relentless, even if in July we have a great shift again and things get even slower. We'll make another adjustment. No matter how many curveball this market throws, I'll continue to make adjustments. I'll be patient, I'll be disciplined, and I'll trust in the process, man. Because this is what the process looks like here. Consistency now over time versus what we were seeing before. And when we go back to, February 22nd, despite all those big red days, we're doing very well, right? There's work to be done. We've made improvements. There's work to be done, and we'll continue going. We're at 201, which is above last year's average, despite the much slower market conditions. So for me in itself, this alone here is already a victory. But I feel like there's so much more to continue to achieve and to continue to improve upon. And that is the goal always, guys. So no matter what adversity you might face, you have to rise to the occasion, because we came out of October very slow, very, very slow. But when we look back at it, we weren't able to make the adjustments. And I continued into 2021 with very small share size, I would say overall, compared to what I did in 2020, right? Especially if we narrow down these months, right? If we narrow down these months here coming into December, and we look at it, 42,000 shares, right? After such a month, sometimes you lose yourself. Like, you almost have to adjust back to what is normal, which is being green. Being green is what's supposed to be normal, guys. Being red is not what normal is supposed to be, right? We need to normalize winning, right? Being successful, we need to make that our everyday reality, right? You know what they say, that saying of, hey, one man's fantasy is another man's reality. One man's trash is another man's treasure. All those sayings like that. Guys, we deserve to be green. We deserve, all of us, we deserve to be green. With all this hard work that we put in every day, we deserve to be green. There's nothing else other than that to say. Why should any of us be red? So we have to acknowledge what it means to be green, accept it, and normalize it. And let it become second nature. Like if we're breathing when we're sleeping, like our heart is pumping, let it become second nature to the point where we do it in our sleep, right? And when we have big green days, it's normal. That's how it's supposed to be. And so, there was a slow adjustment here, man. Slow adjustment. And then finally coming into the new year, we had some, hotter momentum. And I need to, what I have to do even now, what will be good for me is to go back over months like December. And I was thinking about doing this, by the way. Let me know what you guys think down below. I know this is a much longer video, but for those of you watching to this point, I was thinking about doing a series where I go back and rewatch different live streams, and we can probably do it on a month by month basis, or maybe a week by week basis. You know, markets where it was hotter, markets where it was slower, to go back and see exactly what it is that we've done wrong, what it is that we could have done better. Because I'm pretty sure I can go back to October and then the month that followed in December, well, excuse me, November, right? I can go back to a month like November and see, well, I'm not, wow, I can't even remember that I was red on that month. Let me go back. Wow, I was red on November. But anyhow, that's besides the point. I can come back on a month like this and see why it is that I took one trade on a day like Tuesday. You know, why did I take one trade 3,000? So going back and rewatching all these live videos, and I definitely have to do a better job. You know, it's kind of reminding me now why I have to screen record the other screen as well, because we can't really we can't afford to miss data, you know. I gotta make that adjustment now, actually. Now that I'm looking back at this, it's like I need to see every single stock that was moving and why I wasn't trading it, why I was not green, why am I only taking 1 or 3 trades a day. Well, actually my stats are imported differently back here, but still, you know, why am I red? What is it that I could have done better? Why is this day only up $6 and we had 3 red days? Like, what's going on? You know, we have to go back and investigate, and it'll help us. It'll help us when there's markets like this coming back around again. You know, so that was October. Let's see December, and then we'll wrap up the video here very quickly. December, we were back into the green, and you know, even in this, I mean, I think this is why actually. I remember now, Q4 in 2020 for me was awful. And it's part of the reason why I struggled so much with taking trades and with volume. I mean, I'm surprised even this month had 60,000 shares of volume. I'm very surprised. But, you know, I sized down and I became more efficient. And it's like I got so used to using bigger, smaller size, right? January, February. Is this filtering properly? All right, hold on. Let me come out of here and go back. January 2021. All right. There we go. All right, that's the filter right there. Let's see, December 2020. Yeah, I'm surprised I used this much volume in December. So I was pushing it, but we didn't see any follow through for what I was trading. So we definitely have to investigate these months again and refresh our memories. Let's see, we had January. Oh, let's come on this side here. February. February was an awesome month for me, man. We've had some good months in the past, man. February, excellent month. March, you know. April. It's interesting to see the change in like volume. You know, was I just less aggressive or was it the market, you know? The change over month over month is just, and I've sized down again there. Then in June, it's like I just gradually like sized down. June was a great month. July, from 36,000 shares to 27,000 shares. And a decent drop off. But anyhow, we're going for a really long time here. I think we said what we needed to say. You know, I always get very passionate when I look back at my metrics. because I just know that I can do so much better. And when we go back to last year and we do see months like this, right? Months like January, in March, yeah, we had a couple more red days, 7 red days, but we see a lot of consistency. But then April comes along and we're red, 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 red. What's causing us to be so red and have such a drop off? May, very solid, green days for the most part. June, okay, 6 red days, but solid for the most part. But then July comes along, there's a lot more red days. There's 8 red days here. It wasn't a terrible year by any means, though. Hot Q4. We definitely didn't need to see this many red days, but all in all, it was solid. It was a solid year last year. 2022, once again, consistency. So moving on to these months here, we need to see the same level of green in the monthly recap. Guys, it's been Relentless Trader. Hit that thumbs up button. That series of us going back over previous months and investigating and studying and learning will be great for us. Maybe we call it Relentless Studying, Relentless Reviews. I don't know, something like that. But it's been RT. It's been an hour-long video. I am, of course, signing out.